Coming up on today's episode of Chicago Bears Now, we're going to get to Bears training camp day 5 takeaways, a couple of news items in there as well. How did Caleb Williams and the boys perform? I react to all of that. But before we do, I want to talk about Yannick Ngakoue here just for a second. A guy we've talked about a bunch. Obviously, he was on this team last year with some okay results. Certainly didn't live up to his $10 million contract, but he's kind of the top pass rusher left on the free agent market at this point in time, and he's been a little bit busy. Here's the latest on him. Adam Schefter, free agent defensive end Yannick Ngakoue, who has 69 career sacks, nice, is visiting tonight and Thursday with the Carolina Panthers. So he tweeted that out Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. So that meeting started on Wednesday and is ongoing right now. We're filming this about 4 o'clock Central Time here on Thursday afternoon. So visited the Dolphins as well. So he's starting to garner some interest. Miami decided to bring back a familiar face in Emmanuel Ogbah. But, you know, if you're the Bears, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep Ngakoue? Do you want to run it back with him for another season? He's certainly underwhelmed for what we were hoping to get out of him. He had 8 or more sacks in every year of his career before last year, only had 4. Now, 2 of those 4 came in 5 games played with Montez Sweat, so he was starting to heat up just a little bit. But I'll be honest, I don't think Ngakoue returns. And I thought this at Ryan Poles' press conference the other day, his pre-training camp press conference, that this was probably over. This was a direct quote from Poles when asked about Ngakoue. He said, "We really enjoyed our time with him. Thought he did a nice job with the leadership." 2 things stand out from that quote. 1, it feels very past tense. We enjoyed our time with them, like, kind of, thank you. And then 2, he praised his leadership, but didn't really say anything about his play. He mentioned that Montez Sweat helped elevate other players on the defensive line, but it's not like he went out of his way and was like, yeah, Ngakoue was an impactful piece for us. Because, to be truthful, he really wasn't, which is why I preferred to go after a guy like Ogbah, which obviously the Bears opted not to do. This just doesn't scream, we're going to re-sign this guy. We're interested in re-signing this guy. Now, do they have no interest? I don't know. But they're not going to chase him. They're not going to pay him nearly what they paid him last year. I think if they could get him for like $3 million, they might do it. But who knows? I don't know what his market is. If he has a good visit with Carolina, he could be signed any second. If I had to guess, I don't think he's back this season, which, you know, I don't think he would fill some major void if he was here. He would certainly raise the floor of this defensive line. I think it would allow a guy like DeMarcus Walker to kind of freelance a little more, play some edge, play some 3-tech. We know they've deployed him some at that 3-tech spot sometimes during training camp so far. But Ryan Poles also said at that presser that he wants to see how some of these guys perform when the pads go on. They've spoken highly of Jacob Martin, kind of a career journeyman. Austin Booker is an intriguing rookie. So we'll see how it shakes out, but I don't think it's going to shake out with Ngakoue landing in Chicago if I had to guess. But what do you guys think? Do you want him back? Should the Bears re-sign Yannick Ngakoue, type S for sign or P for pass? I'm guessing pass. I'd be cool if they re-signed him. If I'm being honest, though, I don't think it's going to happen. Pen comment on today's show. We'll continue with some Bears training camp takeaways after this YouTube ad break. All right, let's talk about day 5 of training camp. Defense wins the day. For the first time in camp, this practice was a little more one-sided. It certainly wasn't like the defense was incredible, the offense sucked, but we'll dive into this a little bit more as certainly the defense had the better of the offense in this practice. But first, if you want to go watch the Bears, maybe you want to go make a trip to Canton for the Hall of Fame game, go get tickets with our friends over at Game Time. Today's sponsor is Game Time, where they specialize in last-minute tickets for the lowest price guaranteed. You still got a week until the Hall of Fame game. Plenty of time if you want to make a last-minute trip. And the closer you get, the better deals you might find with the Game Time app. They specialize in those last-minute tickets, zone deals, flash deals, because they want to put butts in seats. They want to make sure these events are as raucous as possible. And you guys should get out of the house and go check it out. If you want to go watch the Cubbies or the White Sox, tickets are available there as well. Get good, affordable prices in that regard. And we got a deal for you. Use code SHOUTSPORTS when you go download the Game Time app, and you get $20 off as a first-time customer only, first purchase only. So if you don't have the app yet, go download it. Code ChatSports. First purchase will be $20 off, and terms do apply there, so keep that in mind. But I've used Game Time on many occasions, starting way back with TCU Georgia National Championship game, day of the event. We bought tickets, got a better deal because prices started to drop, and that is where Game Time has you covered. So go download the app. Link will be in the description and comments of this video too, to redirect you to the App Store. Big white letter G with the black background. That's how you know it's Game Time. Use code ChatSports. Get $20 off. First purchase only. Our Kevin Fishbane talking about today's practice says big day for the defense. The first team offense was rarely able to get in a rhythm in team drills, which is 11-on-11s. Caleb Williams continued to look good in 7-on-7. Best throw was a touchdown to Halas Jones in the back corner of the end zone. And we'll get to the Kyler Gordon stuff in a little bit. And look, you knew this would happen eventually. Now, the good news is again, this isn't one of those, like, I don't know, like sometimes in the past, like alarming practice from Mitch Trubisky or Justin Fields as they threw 4 interceptions or something like that. Defense won the day, but it certainly wasn't diabolical from Caleb Williams. Wasn't his best day. That's going to happen. It's how do you respond. The good news is 7-on-7s, still decisive, multiple touchdown passes, so certainly not a complete bad day for Caleb, just not a great day, and that's certainly going to happen from time to time. And now let's see if there's that bounce-back ability. That's what you want to see. When he'd have a not great practice in the spring, he would bounce back typically, and that's something you want to see carry over, especially with the pads on tomorrow. Get a little motivation on the offensive side of the ball. We'll see if they can hold up in the trenches and win the practice tomorrow. So excited to see how that all plays out. Don't think this is something to be concerned about whatsoever, but the defense did win the day. More camp news and notes in just a second, and if you want Bears training camp coverage on a daily basis plus more content, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. We are closing in on 95,000 subscribers here on Chicago Bears. Now 100K subs is just around the corner, and you guys should be proud of that and being a part of that because y'all have built this thing together. So I really appreciate it, and we all do here at Chat Sports, and coverage doesn't stop, baby. It only continues, so hit that sub button. Talk a little Kyler Gordon here. He's a little banged up. As Matt Eberflus said, he's dealing with some tightness. Said in Tuesday's practice, they pulled him out a little early because he felt some tightness, and he still felt that waking up today. So hold him out for now. Certainly doesn't sound serious. Didn't mention where the tightness is. Is it a hamstring issue? But if it's one of those soft tissue spots, you don't want to mess around with that, especially this time of year. Like, the last thing you need is a hammy groin, or a hammy strain, or a pulled groin, something like that. Take it day by day. Be cautious, and don't mess around with that stuff, especially for a somewhat established player, which Kyler Gordon is. All right, a couple other notes from today's practice. Halas Jones touchdown catch, which Fishbane mentioned earlier. Look, I think so far he's had a pretty decent start to training camp here, so that's a positive for him, no doubt about it. DeAndre Swift showing off the pass-catching ability with the touchdown catch as well. Interesting little nugget. Rome Odunze still in the mix returning punts. Mark Grody had a note that about 8 guys are getting in the mix at punt returner, but it was Odunze who was the punt returner during live drills. That feels pretty significant to me. That tells me they're taking a hard look at the rookie receiver out of Washington as a potential punt returner, which I'm okay with for his rookie year. I think long-term you certainly don't want to do that, but because considering he's the number 3 receiver right now, I'd be okay with it. And then also Matt Eberflus was asked if Caleb Williams will play in the Hall of Fame game. He said a decision will come shortly in terms of Caleb playing in that one. I think they're probably debating in that building like, hey, we'd like to play him get his feet wet, but we don't want to play key vets. So do you want to put him in there with a bunch of backups? That's probably the question they're trying to decipher through. I would like to play him one drive, even if it's just super cautious. Just get his feet wet in terms of breaking the huddle, calling plays out in the huddle, cadence at the line of scrimmage. Like, I think there's value in that. Even if he's just mostly going to hand the ball off or throw the ball out in the flat or something, I don't think the results post-snap in this game matter that much. It's more of just the operation, which Matt Eberflus talks about a lot. I would like to see them do that. Whether or not they do remains to be seen. And, of course, the biggest note of the day, pads going on tomorrow, Friday's practice. If you're ready for pads to go on at Bears training camp, type me down in the comments below. I know I'm ready. I know you're ready. Spam me if you're with me. All right, if you want more Bears content, you can find me over on Instagram at HGramNFL. By the way, happy birthday to Sweetness. Walter Payton, the GOAT Bears player, would have been, I can't remember how old. I calculated it earlier, but absolute legend, and he's certainly missed among Bears fans. But HBD to the GOAT, that is Sweetness, baby.